Hello folks, I'm Scott Turnstill Outdoors. Today I'm down in Newport, Oregon, and we're going to do a little jetty fishing. Now we've been down here before, but we're going to change it up this time. We're going to not only fish the South Jetty, but we're also going to fish the North Jetty. We're going to show some tactics on how to catch lingcod down here. And you can't come down here and not catch some sea bass as well, because they're just so much fun to catch. There's so many, and they're so delicious. But we're predominantly going to concentrate on catching lingcod down here. We're going to show you a couple different tactics on how to catch them, because they can be elusive. Even though they're very voracious fish, I call them the flathead catfish of the ocean, because they're all head and they're just always looking for a meal. But guys get after them down here, and they get pretty smart. So it can be tough to catch them down here off the bank. So we're going to show you some tactics on how to get after those things and put some in your bucket and in your belly. So come along, and hope you enjoy. So this arduous journey out to the end of the jetty begins. This is where the trail is nice. Seriously feel like I'm training for American Ninja Warrior, traversing through these rocks.
Now, one of the other fun things to do down here at the jetty is get after these fish with a spear or go razor clam digging out in the surf when those things are in season. One of the coolest things I've done is come down here 4th of July and watch a fireworks show in the harbor. It's pretty awesome.
Run this pole, go this way. Probably the safest route. Not that any of this is safe. You can seriously fall down these cracks and you can get very, very injured. This jetty, ooh. See that green moss? That is slick. That is slick as can be. When it's wet, do not fool with that. This is the end. It's like the seagulls have made this home. It's so gross.
Our favorite way to get fishing started out off the end of the jetty is to get after some sea bass. When the tide's in high like this, there's a really good chance you're going to be in big schools and really hungry. So what you want to do is cast your bait as far as you can and let it drift down to the bottom. A lot of times you'll get a hit on the way down. But what you want to do once it hits the bottom is start to jig in slowly. And any little tap or weight you feel, that's likely a fish. You're going to notice when I'm fighting these fish, I always try and keep my rod tip high in the air and out over the water. And my reason for doing this is I'm trying to get leverage to keep those fish from swimming down into those rocks. And always keep tension on your line, because if they get any slack, they're going to run you down in there and bust you off. The other thing I would really recommend is using a pole no less than 7 feet in length. You're going to have a lot more success out here with that.
And every cast, that is 6 or 7 in a row out here. The tide's coming in, and we're just tearing them up. These little sandworms. These things are just money down here. These and white jigs. It's been tearing these things up, and these are delicious to eat. I kept a couple dinosaur ones for dinner, but we'll catch and release. Fun catching these sea bass. They are scrappy. A little copper sea bass action right there.
Heck yeah.
You should touch the side of it, Pete.
I don't want to.
With
I
your
heard
tongue.
it hurts for a long time.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good looking one right there.
Send him back seaworthy.
Yes sir. Frag out.
This is a nice greenling. Not quite my target fish, but has a dandy greenling. All right, folks, we're gonna do a little dead stick fishing for these lingcod, which is probably the easiest, most simple way that you can fish for them. It's definitely the most relaxing and the most safe because you're not hopping around rocks, you're just staying in one spot. My basic setup, I'm still using my 40-pound mono, a barrel swivel, which I should be using a 3-way swivel, but somebody forgot to put them in the backpack. And then I'm using 20-pound mono to a 3-ounce round ball sinker. 3 to 4 ounce sinker usually does a trick out here. A little less than that, if you catch any current, that bait's gonna be flopping around, you're gonna get a lot of snags. My whole reasoning for the 20-pound mono is, so if you hook a big fish and you run into the rocks, you do not wanna lose them because your sinker got snagged in the rocks. You wanna be able to break that. So 20-pound mono there, 40-pound there, and then my leader line is 50-pound, because that's gonna take the most beating. And then on the end of this, we have a 5/0 Gamakatsu octopus hook, and we're using herring. And as you can see, I've hooked that through the tail twice because they do get pretty soft. You don't want it ripping off there, and you want to hook it through the tail because those fish are going to eat head first, and it's just awkward if you hook it through the head. I'm trying to get backwards. It's just going to be easier for the fish, and he's going to swallow that down so you can secure that hook. But that's a basic setup. So let's get after some lingcod. So this is probably the easiest method to catch these lingcod. Definitely most relaxing for sure. But just finding like a nice place to sit, flat rock if you can, which there's not a whole heck of a lot of them out here. But basic tactic, real simple. Now that we're all set up, we got our herring on there. We're just gonna cast out about 15 yards. Not too far, because what we're trying to do is hit that break line, right where it goes from gravel to the big chunk rock. Once it hits bottom, I'm going to pull it in a little ways. So I start feeling it hitting big rock. Because it's key that you get it close to those big rocks, because that's where those lingcod are going to be. They're not really out there in that flat looking for food. They're waiting to ambush or cruise on the edge of that break line. And that's it. Pull it until you start feeling the big heavy chunk rock, and then sit it down. You don't want to pull in too far because then you can snag. And then it's just a waiting game. One thing you got to keep in mind is there's a ton of crab down there, and the crab's going to eat the heck out of that bait. So if you feel little nibbles, it's good to hold on your pole, because those crab, it's a very subtle bite, and they will eat the heck out of one of your baits. So as soon as you feel that, you want to pull it out. Cast it in a different spot. Don't cast it back in the same spot, because the same crab's going to get your bait. They are very mobile. But basically, you're just watching that pole, and typically when a lingcod grabs, a lot of times it's going to be a slow pull. Now, your first reaction is you put that bite and set the hook. You don't want to do that. You want to let that fish take it, like give it an extra second, so that he'll swallow that bait down. depending how big the fish is, if it's a smaller fish, it's going to take a little bit to get it down. And you really want to swallow it down so you can set the hook in a softer tissue in the stomach area. Because their mouths are just, like I say, they are so tough that so many times you'll set the hook, if they clamp down on your line, you don't really hook them. As soon as they open their mouth, their bait comes out and you don't realize why you missed the fish or lost the fish. It's because you never had them hooked. They're just a waiting game.
Now the best access point that we found, a place to park from the North Jetty, is clear up the Yakima Bay Lighthouse. And you'll hike down the stairs, across the sand dunes, and it's a couple miles to get out there, so you best wear your hiking shoes and you better pack a lunch.
Lingcod on. Oh my gosh, this is a good one. Holy cow, look at that dude. That's a nice one. Come here, big fella. This is a bad time to forget the net. Oh gosh. Hold on, buddy. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Nice fish. Woo! Oh my gosh. Get out of these rocks. Dude, that's sweet. Oh, Newport Lingcod, baby. That's what we came for, finally. That's a good one.
Now the bait I'm using here is a paddle tail swim bait. It's about 5 inches long, black back, silver belly, and I'm using a 2-ounce jig head. I'm using the heavy jig head to get it down fast, and you want to let it drop all the way to the bottom before you start your retrieve. And then when you start your retrieve, you're going to jig it in an erratic manner so that it looks like a wounded fish swimming around on the bottom. And if you can get that to hit rocks, that's really key because it seems more natural. It's high risk that you'll get snagged up, but high reward.
Fish on.
Yes, sir. Yes. Look at that. Yeah. Woo! Check that out, guys. Oh my gosh. This is the craziest fishing I've ever done, I swear. Oh my. Another nice keeper lingcod down in Newport Jetty. Holy cow. Like, there's no way to get down to this water. It's like so treacherous. There's just mussels and just slime on these rocks. So you have to have crazy heavy line. I should probably have heavier than I have. I have 40-pound mono on here. But that's another probably 26, 27-inch lingcod. And I just hoisted them up. And I am tagged out for the day. Happy camper. Nice. Woo! Check that out, folks. I had horrible luck the first part of this trip, and within 10 minutes, I'm tagged out on a nice lingcod. This is about 28, this is probably 26, 27 inches, all on swim baits out here on the Newport Jetty. This, it's crazy. You can be at the lowest of lows, but just keep after it, try new things, and you will have success more times than not. So awesome. These things are going to taste amazing, and I'm going to have lingcod in the freezer for a while. Yeah. persistence paid off in a big way. Look at that. That's a toad lingcod, probably 30 plus inches. I was out here throwing herring. That didn't work. Tried slip bobber herring, didn't work. Tried the swim bait, didn't work, which is usually my go-to. Switched it up, threw in this big curly tail grub, and this goes hand in hand with my theory on balancing out these rocks because it seems more natural. I was snagged on a rock and I was trying to get it loose, and that fish pulled it off, which really caught me by surprise. That's not the first time it's happened out here either. So, you know, just always be ready. You never know what's going to happen out here, but it is just so much fun. I truly hope you folks learn something from the video. Get out here and get after it, but be super careful because it is really dangerous out here. And if you like the video, we would greatly appreciate subscribe to the channel. It helps us out. And go check out our brand new website. We got some hats on there and some antler keychains and all kinds of fun stuff. But we really appreciate it. And in the meantime, get out there and catch your silhouette some outdoors. Thanks for watching, folks.